everybody. Yeah, it's a live pre-show. Welcome. I don't have the live pre-show banner up. Come on, guys. Uh, how's
Why are you
everybody's
coming
weekend?
on, guys?
I guess.
How's-
I mean, what the hell?
I've been so distracted this weekend. I'm hoping to be moved by.
You're the
end of
one
this
who
month.
posted the link like 5 minutes
I know.
before show start.
Dude, I had so many problems leading up into the show. My camera wasn't working, and that requires a restart.
no.
And when I restarted my computer, of course, it was like, "Oh yeah, you got some Windows updates that you hadn't done." And I'm like, "Well, you're just gonna do them, right? Yeah, you don't have a choice. I'm just gonna do them." Like, thanks, Microsoft. We'll do segment one, whatever we did this week. Anything fun? Scarlett Johansson and Disney, some Substack news. We'll hype up Spider-Man 75, talk Last Ronin number 5. I guess a prelude to what will be the top 3 as I bring up just a little fun thing that popped up on the internet about the 2 big X events going on right now. And then what if it was episode 8, right?
It was, I believe, yeah.
Okay. We got some good food news. A huge moment of destruction. Action figures all abound.
Oh, really?
Yes. We got all, and then we have a Halloween special that was not what I wanted, but
it was not what I wanted. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely not what I wanted.
Not what I wanted. And Shattered Glass, and then top 3 with a heaping helping of some solid comics. I could have very easily had 3 X books in my top 3. Just
easily, yeah. Yeah,
that's easily. Not too uncommon there, right?
The only reason why I don't is because I wanted to be a little bit diverse,
right?
To be honest,
right. Wolverine was dope this week, but it's not.
It was
either. That's a little bit of a teaser. Anything else you jokers want to add to the mix? Dave's
sounds like a full plate to me. I mean,
it does. It sounds like a full plate. All right, let's get into it. Let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. If chat has any ideas, always let us know what you want us to talk about.
Bunch of goddamn nerds.
It's true.
Nerds!
I don't know why I always laugh at that one. I mean, that's a funny movie. It doesn't really stand up, and it's,
There's a lot of problematic stuff with it.
It's very problematic, like an 80s movie. Problematic. My favorite problematic 80s/90s movie is Home Alone. Get it home. And everyone's like, He's at Home Alone. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It's another episode of This Geek in Comics, Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
What a world. I'm Gomer Adam Normal Taylor. How's it going, gentlemen? How are things?
Going all right, man.
I'm doing well.
Did you guys have a
It's a
good
little
week?
rainy today.
I
But,
liked it. It was okay.
Got my flu shot earlier.
Right.
Not really feeling it yet, so hopefully it'll just be a bit of a sore arm situation for me.
Oh, don't be a pussy. Anyway.
I'm telling you, I'm not having problems. Dude. What the fuck?
Did you guys have a good week? Do anything cool? Watch anything fun?
I was until I was reminded what a piece of shit you are
I
just
know.
now. I mean, fuck you, Gomer.
I know.
Either way.
So nothing. You guys just don't do nothing. Maybe I don't do anything. Maybe I don't do anything except watch TV. But
I mean, I watched a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about anyway, so I mean,
right.
might as well just wait for that.
I did watch the Many Saints of New York movie.
You fool! It's
is
Newark.
that the
That's what I said.
You said New York. It's Newark.
No, Newark. I have that in my notes. Many Saints of Newark. I have.
Well, you said New York.
I did
and
not
I'm sure a
mean
lot
to
of the people
say
in
New York.
Newark are going to be really pissy at you.
Oh yeah,
for
all of our
doing so.
listeners up in Jersey. But this is a prequel movie to the groundbreaking HBO drama The Sopranos, which was a kind of it was a show about the mob. Okay, let's not get it twisted. But
it was
really, it was more of a vehicle for like complex character study. You know what I mean? And it really dug into who everybody was and how they were actually just normal people who had these extraordinary jobs, even though they were really terrible, shitty jobs. But the movie was, kind of this. I mean, but that's why The Sopranos was groundbreaking, But this movie was basically the same thing, but it was a movie, so it really didn't have the space to do what Sopranos did.
So you think it should have been a mini-series instead, perhaps?
This definitely should have been a series. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A prequel series. But beyond that, it's a hell of a cool Easter egg hunt for Sopranos fans. You know what I mean? Like, my wife and I are doing like, oh, you know what I mean? When we see something, it's like, oh, okay, that eventually,
So-
becomes the meat store.
Suppose
duh.
somebody hasn't seen The Sopranos. Would they get anything at all out of this?
I said no. All right. And that's literally what I said in the post on Facebook when I was watching it. But Leroy over at the Comic Book Bullies, friends of the show, they record Monday, or actually tonight, like midnight tonight, early Monday morning. So check them out right here on this channel. But he got in there and is like, well, I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it. But he doesn't even get who the narrator is. Like, the narrator is a character from the original Sopranos who is pretty fucking important in context, but whatever. So no, fuck Leroy. He's wrong. No, unless you're a Sopranos fan, this is gonna suck. It's a mediocre gangster movie at best.
I mean, he could probably still appreciate it for being a well-made movie.
Oh, it is a well-made movie.
And you just appreciate it at a different level because you're a hardcore Sopranos.
It's like watching Endgame, and that's it. That's the only Marvel movie you've ever seen is Endgame. It's still okay.
I mean, you would still be entertained by the spectacle of the fight, everything. But yeah, it would be a terrible one to make your first one.
Weird.
That movie relies very heavily on you knowing and caring about these characters.
The whole fight scene, every line, like the big fight, at the base where Thanos attacks from time. But every little one-liner is like a callback to something else. Like when T'Challa says, Clint, when all he's doing is calling for Hawkeye. That's a callback to Civil War when T'Challa's like, I don't even know who you are. You know what I mean? At that one point during
he would say I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
so
or whatever. But there's a callback when Wasp says, on it, Cap.
Yeah.
Because in Ant-Man, he's like, Cap, we call him Cap.
Yeah.
So every line in there is a fucking callback to something else. You can appreciate the fight, but you're not going to appreciate the depth of the dialogue. Man, that's way too snooty for the MCU. I mean, real cinema. Let's do news. It's pretty light in terms of comics. All the new previews and shit came out last week, and we talked about those, but there really wasn't much going on. But we'll get into some movies. Scarlett Johansson and Disney agree to settle their lawsuit.
Yeah, we figured this was going to happen.
Hey, not much. Hey, Rebecca, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it.
This is what always happens, though, is, fat stacks of money get passed around. So.
Yeah.
I'm glad she got paid for her work, though.
Yeah,
so.
Good for them. I mean, but I feel like, case closed. I don't need to dwell on it,
Yeah, well, let me pop the cork just a little bit more on it. This is without a doubt a win for workers against corporations, in terms of, getting paid what they deserve. But this also, begs us again to revisit the ongoing and rampant problem of comic book creators not getting paid what they deserve for the work they've done to bring these, these rich characters, very profitable characters, and stories to life. You know what I mean? It's weird to me. It's weird to me. I don't like it. That's all I got. You guys even there? You guys care?
Yeah, we're here.
I mean, that's tangentially related, so I don't know what you really want me to say about it. But
pay people.
Sure.
Yeah,
But Scarlett
pay
Johansson
people.
is not a comic book creator, though.
I know, but again, if she can beat Marvel,
she is in a significantly stronger bargaining position than a lot of these comic creators
because of us, though, right? Because of the fans.
Partially, but that she has a lot more clout. She's a more recognizable name. We, as comic book readers, are aware of the creators. Vast majority of the movie-going audience is not.
We need to bring that.
I'm sure this helps, but I don't know that this is necessarily bursting open the floodgates here.
Hey, what a little crack in the dam. Little sub news here, little tidbit. Bendis has a Substack offer on the table that he is thinking over.
Of course he does. He should take it.
Kelly Thompson has, no shit, he should take it. I don't know, he's got a great deal with Dark Horse right now, redoing all that Jinx World shit.
He should do that too. He should just get off DC.
I know, he really could just do anything.
he should just leave DC.
No, I don't know about that. He needs to find his niche, his He needs to find, where he needs to go. What is he
He's
even
been
working on at DC
pretty much
right now?
everywhere.
That's
He's
Justice League.
He's on Legion also. Legion's still a thing.
No, it's not.
Oh,
I
it
haven't- you
is,
know,
isn't
is.
it?
I haven't
Wow.
seen a fucking Legion book, or maybe we just pass over it so fast I
We
don't remember
do.
it.
I mean,
fuck that.
in our defense,
Legion
it's a pass-overable book,
Man, Legion should be awesome, dude. It could be just as good as X-Men.
It could
I
be,
really
but
think
it's
it could
not, I mean, Legion, it does have a lot of great storytelling potential. A lot of really great creators have worked on that over the years, but the
Cool
current book
characters.
isn't necessarily the worst thing I've ever read, but
It's not great.
it's barely memorable even,
Yeah.
So that's almost worse than being bad.
Yeah. But now some bad news from Substack. Kelly Thompson now has a Substack deal. And that's a bit worrisome, although she has stated that she does want to move into, more creator-owned stuff and things like
Good for her.
that. So I don't know. We'll
Hey,
see
we're
what's
complaining
going on with
about
that.
these creators not getting paid, and at least these Substack deals pay them. So
Yeah, and they get to keep all the rights to the TV
Right.
show stuff, and I mean, there's other
it just
positive
sucks
things
for
too.
it just sucks for if you're a big 2 fan, because all these creators are going to start leaving.
That's the point. I mean,
Yep.
Joshua Williamson literally can't write everything.
No, he can't. And
He's
if
close, though. He's close.
and if he does write everything, it is going to be a very mediocre universe.
I don't know. Doesn't he do Robin?
He does do Robin. Robin's is one good one.
Robin's
Robin's
I
great.
mean, even
so
a good
glad.
writer
Talk more
can be
about Robin
stretched
later.
too thin,
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't know. I'm happy for everybody getting their deals, but on the heels of that, it's a big, Amazing Spider-Man issue coming up. We've hated on Spider-Man for so long. I mean, even going back before Nick Spencer's run into Dan Slott's run, I was not having a great time with most of it, with the vast majority of it.
Spencer
would
made
not
me
lump together-
appreciate Slott.
Yeah, I wouldn't lump together Dan Slott and Nick Spencer. I mean,
Well, I'm just lumping them together because they were the ones who worked on Spider-Man back to back, and I had a lot of trouble with at least the later half of Dan Slott's run on Spider-Man. It reminds me of Tom King's run on Batman, where up to a point, up to Nightmare, it just got worse and worse, and then Nightmare was just terrible, just bad, and then it didn't get better. And I don't know, Slott kind of had the same thing going for a while, and yeah, and then we went to Nick Spencer, where we can all agree that it was very subpar. But now Zeb Wills, Kelly Thompson, Saladin Ahmed, Cody Ziegler, and Patrick Gleason. That's the team. That's the Beyond. Spider-Man Beyond is the next thing we're going into. This first issue that starts everything is Zeb Wells with art by Patrick Gleason. Patrick Gleason is actually going to be writing some of this as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, this is it. This is the hype, man. We've got the pages.
I'm
they
gonna
look
try
great.
it out.
They look
I
great.
suffered through Nick Spencer, so
You're stronger,
I'm
man, than me.
I'm willing to try out the new generation. Let's see what's going on. Plus, I like Ben Reilly. Ben Reilly.
yeah, I mean,
seen him
Spider-Man
for a
books
minute.
are usually an easy sell for me. I've
You gotta try hard to push you away.
Yeah, I mean, these last few years before Nonstop started coming out was like the longest stretch I've ever gone without reading a Spider-Man.
Well, there's
book.
a Friendly Neighborhood from Tom Taylor. That was
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I always forget about that because I don't know.
Well, still, there was like at least a year off
Yes.
between those books.
For sure. But yeah, the art looks great. I'm psyched about this new team. So yeah, bring it on. We'll definitely talk about that next week. All right, yeah, that's really all we got, man. We got Last Ronin number 5 isn't going to ship till February.
That
Of
is
course
so
not.
disappointing.
That is very disappointing. I mean, you say, of course not. I get it.
I'm not surprised. I mean, all
I
these
know.
books have been
I'm not
months
really
and months
surprised
apart.
either, but I am disappointed.
Why would you expect different here?
I was really hoping they'd put a rush. I posted this news, I don't know, what was it, someday last week. And a dude who I know, I posted in a group and he commented the shit, and he's in the know. What he's heard is the first page of the last issue hasn't even been drawn yet.
What?
Yes, hasn't even been drawn.
I hate that, man. Why did they even start
Why?
publishing this thing if
So
it's not
February-
done already?
Yeah, February
know,
might even be
man.
optimistic here, honestly,
Yeah.
if they're that far behind.
Jeez,
sure,
that's
man. For
crazy.
sure.
But yeah,
thanks for stopping by, Michelle. Yeah, it is a fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
It's
It's
great
consistently
read.
very good.
You have a
it's just
long time to catch up.
It's just
so.
consistently late. It is very late.
I mean, better late than bad. But Adam's
Sure.
right. They should, if they were so far behind on the work, they should have waited before they released issue 1.
Yeah, I get it though. I mean, biggest IDW book of the year. They needed to have something.
Hey,
I get it. We don't know what the business side of it was.
That's fair. I mean,
that's the business side.
If they needed to put this out to keep the lights on, then I can't fault them for that. But
yeah, for sure, especially this year.
If I had my druthers, wait until more of this was ready before you even get started.
Yeah, it might be better to wait till spring when the whole thing is collected, Michelle. Holding
they
off.
They won't stop reprinting it. So
yeah, this will be in print forever. Yeah, this will be in print forever.
Like, I normally trade weight myself, and so you can tell something is really, really good if I feel like I can't wait for the trade.
Yeah, Travis said you called the shop and said, "Hey, I need that book."
I was worried about missing it,
Right. A little bit of a preview for the our review segment. Krakoa. Great scene from this week's Inferno, but the X books are kind of disjointed in a way. A quote from Marvel: Inferno, which just started this week, we're going to talk about it later, takes place after the events of Trial of Magneto.
Right. Which would make sense.
It does definitely make sense, but that feels very disjointed to me.
Well, I mean, theoretically.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's really hard to find it. Yeah. I actually got an issue. I put it in my box. I had my comic shop hold it. They put it in my box, but yeah, it was really hard to find.
But yeah, I mean, theoretically, we don't know that Magneto is going to get off scot-free from the whole murder of Wanda Maximoff thing, but obviously he does because he was at the start of this issue.
Yeah, actually waking up from being murdered or being dead somehow. But I don't know, man. It seems weird. Why push this Trial of Magneto thing? I mean, what is your ploy here? What are you? Is it all about just getting Scarlet Witch back in business? Is that really the whole deal with Trial of Magneto? Getting her back to be a mutant?
That's definitely part of it. I also just think that they were trying to, I don't know, capitalize on a story idea that kind of fell into their laps, because this was supposed to be just the third arc of X Factor.
Yes.
And they were like, man, this idea is so good. We need to make this its own thing.
Yeah.
And, after WandaVision earlier this year, Scarlet Witch is a hot character. So they probably sell more books by making it, hey, here's a Scarlet Witch book.
I just don't know. I'm still enjoying them all, but I wish it was a bit more. Honestly, this feels like Hickman is already gone. You know what I mean?
Well,
it feels disjointed as fuck,
gone.
Dude.
I mean, Inferno has been I'm sure in the can for months and months now. So all this
in terms
stuff
of writing it, sure.
Yeah, I mean, what we're reading now probably is the last of the stuff that's going to be part of his blueprint, as it were. So all bets are off moving forward. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens.
All right, last bit of news before we get into everything else. Big Transformers week again. I'm so excited. What if episode 8? What if Ultron won? Just dope. Stupid big fun.
Yeah, stupid fun is a good way to describe it. I've seen a lot of people how the hell did how did Ultron manage to beat Thanos? So he's so that they didn't have to make the episode about that,
Yeah, and I mean,
should he have been able to one-shot a Thanos who had 5 of the Infinity Stones? No, that's stupid.
Ultron's just that damn good.
This is one of those don't worry about it type of situations,
Yeah. Yeah, I love Hawkeye in here. Every angle of him where he's tired and he's lost everything.
That last shot with him diving into the robot pile, that was a really cool moment.
It mirrored the Guardians of the Galaxy, or not Guardians of the Galaxy. It mirrored the Endgame moment, or Infinity War moment, or whatever fucking moment when she's jumping, sacrificing herself. Just perfect. Yeah, dude. So well done. So well done. Nothing else. Adam, you're still not watching this, huh?
Nah, man. I've been off.
Not caught up.
Well, I mean, they do actually tease for the first time, really having like a direct connection between the different What If episodes now, because at the very end we see Strange Supreme gets recruited by Uatu, I guess, to help him fight Ultron, who's running amok across the multiverse now. And we already saw that a little bit at the end of the Thor episode.
So they're gonna have like a multiverse Avengers.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That's pretty rad. I guess that should be what the episode.
I'll catch up on it at some point. You know,
it's a quick watch too, man.
Yeah,
it's a quick watch. All right, man. We are moving right along. Food news.
Yummy.
Nothing disgusting this week.
Well, thank goodness.
General Mills has announced apple pie toast crunch for the season, limited edition, obviously. This for the 2021 holiday season. They're also bringing back some other shit that they've had for a while, but I didn't care for those. It was like the dulce de leche toast crunch, which I did not care for.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the better pick.
Yeah,
this one actually looks like it could be good.
Honestly, this seems like a slam dunk. I mean, apple pie with like the cinnamon flavor, that's very seasonal and honestly just sounds good regardless. You know?
Mid-size box for $2.50, family size $4. Go get you some. I'm gonna get some and review it on the fucking show as soon as I find
Are you gonna live review it? Are you just gonna slurp
Man,
a bowl of it?
Yeah, you crunching that cereal is gonna make for some
stopping by. Yeah, I'm stoked. I love holiday everything, mix and match. So yeah. What else, man? Oh, Transformers. So what's next? What do you guys want to do next?
What do we do on this show?
That's why I was thrown off, because the first part of Moment of Destruction is actually live. My Gigawatt came in.
Oh, that's cool.
I call him Gigawatt, but the Doc Brown calls him, man, why can't I just be myself? It's like get this high. Yes, very dope.
You'll leave them in the box?
Yeah, all right. I bought the Ghostbusters one. It's right here, if you can see it, just right above my finger. The Ecto one.
Yeah, I can see it.
Transformer. And I took him out of the box and I went to transform him. And dude, he's brittle as fuck. All right, he's really not very toyetic at all. I'm afraid I'm gonna break him. I took this one out of the box, just basically slid, the plastic over and felt. And yeah, he's the same way. And I've read on the internet, dude, don't think these toys are really, more than collectibles. And that's fine. These are little special one-offs, don't really have anything to do with. All right, man. I got an Omega Supreme. All right. That motherfucker, he's fun to play with. All right, he's dope. He is sick to play with. I've got all kinds of shit from the 80s, Even the Masterpiece Grimlock is really fun to transform. But if they're not fun to play with, leave them in the box. You might as well, So, yeah, I was really stoked that came in the mail. And I ordered all 3 of the Seekers that I wanted.
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
There's a 2-pack of Thundercracker and what's his name? Skywarp. And I ordered the Coronation Starscream.
There you go.
Oh man, he comes with the crown and the throne. Yeah. I'm so stoked.
Is there like a self-destruct button to like break apart Coronation Starscream?
Yeah, Galvatron.
Yeah, it comes with like a Galvatron that like vaporizes.
Dude, talk about death. I was thinking about this the other day because my old lady and I were watching Goodfellas, right? And we were talking about how Tommy, spoiler alert, gets murdered, as they thinking he's going to get made or whatever. And I was like, man, that's just like Starscream. He thinks he's going to get made and then gets murdered. But we were talking about best death scenes in movies. And I'm like, I'd put Starscream's death
Starscream is up there, actually.
It's a dope scene.
Yeah. I mean, the Transformers movie honestly has some pretty hard to beat death scenes across the board there. I mean, Optimus Prime is probably one of the most iconic of all time, And
it's not even the most
even just Prowl,
With the smoke coming out of his mouth.
Yes.
Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal. Ironhide, even though you don't even see it, what happened. It's even worse, But yeah, there were some new toys announced. This is pretty cool, and I've got a Huffer, right here.
Oh yeah.
We got a Huffer right here. These are repaints of Huffer, Autobot Road Ranger, and Autobot Puffer. Amazon exclusives, $42. Yeah, Puffer. And they are. They're just repaints of Huffer.
I mean,
and that's fine.
If they're gonna call the Puffer Huffer, then they're not exactly trying to hide it.
Huffer is actually a G1, like an original first 16, one of the first 16.
Mm-hmm.
This is not his G1, obviously. This is the generation
whatever now is.
Whatever now is. But yeah, those are two pretty cool figures for $40, $20 each. They're not terrible figures because Huffer is a really fun toy. And then we got a lot of cool.
Ooh, I need one of these. I love
Waspinator.
Yeah, a Kingdom Deluxe Waspinator, $23, available everywhere. Really nice.
Does he like blow apart into pieces? This is one that definitely does need a self-destruct button.
No,
because Waspinator was destroyed in every single episode of Beast Wars.
Every time, yeah. A couple more, and Shadow Panther, not terrible.
Oh yeah,
his beast mode looks great though. That is a great.
He's a repaint of Cheetor.
Yeah, it's a Cheetor repaint. Yeah, basically. Not terrible though. I mean, still fun. And then
he's not the Cheetor repaint I want though. I want Tigertron, even though I think they already came out with Tigertron.
Yeah, but they should do a new one with the new Cheetor sculpt. Because the Cheetor sculpt they have now is probably the best one, I think. In my opinion, the best one they've done for that character. But Sludge is getting ultra class, only $22 for this Sludge. And his dinosaur mode is just okay, but man, his robot mode looks brilliant.
Oh, he looks cool.
Looks so good. That looks so good. Just him standing there looks fantastic, man. Fantastic. Yeah, and that's $22. So those are your toys for this week. Man, fucking great set. But all right, Adam, you're on Halloween special, buddy. Dan Waters, Bethany McGuire Smith.
The Halloween special.
It's terrible.
I didn't think it was terrible. I actually enjoy. If this was an issue of Transformers, I would think this would have been a good issue of Transformers. But this is a Halloween special.
Yes.
And so taken as a Halloween special, this is terrible because there's like no spookiness at all in this. There is technically a ghost.
Yeah.
And there is a ghost story, I guess, involved.
There was a little bit of body horror, but not really.
Not really. So
like this.
The first thing that got me here is that this is in continuity.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't like a side story that is typically what IDW does with these quote-unquote specials is they go completely out of whatever current comic book continuity they're in, and they usually go back to just very recognizable, straight-up G1, less layers than the typical run has. But, yeah, they didn't do that in this. They stuck with the regular shit.
Yeah, they stuck it with the shit continuity, which already kind of puts a damper on it. But so the way the story is there is a special mission that Starscream wants to be the leader of, and Megatron's going to give him the position, but I think it's Six Shot just talks shit on Starscream, and so Megatron's like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." So as Starscream's leaving because he's angry that he didn't get the job. Run Amok and Runabout, is that his name?
Yes. I have one of those.
Yeah, that both of them show up and they're saying that there's a ghost out in the waste.
Yeah,
basically.
Screaming.
Yeah, and so Starscream, wanting to prove his worth, I guess, goes to investigate. And during this whole time, there's an inner monologue going on. And it's kind of a weird narration, but we sort of find out that the narrator is Starscream's old teacher, old boss.
His mentor. Or mentee.
Yeah, his mentor.
Mentee thing.
Yeah. Cyrac, I think, is their name.
It is. It's Cryak, actually.
Cryak.
Is what I have. Cryak.
Okay. Cryak.
And Cryak and Starscream used to go places that nobody else went because you couldn't get there with your
They used to be explorers. They were Lewis and Clark,
So dumb.
Yeah, dumb stuff like that.
It was so
but Cryak got injured during one of these adventures, and one of the things that happens in this Transformers continuity is when a Transformer wants to kind of die, to leave this world, to become one with the
planet,
with the spark or the planet or whatever. Yeah, they just kind of like find a place on the planet and lay down and immerse themselves, sort of like
go ahead,
Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Jones,
yeah, dude,
just like that.
Yeah, Davy Jones' fucking boat, part of the ship, part of the crew.
So
it's dumb. Okay, it's dumb.
So Kryak goes and tries to do this, but while they're doing this, one of these stupid Voin monkey things runs through, and
these animals, these creatures, these fleshy beasts, they also happen to live on Cybertron, which is new as well. That used to not be a thing.
He comes scampering through, and his little wire gets caught onto Kryak, and Kryak's spark goes inside the monkey. And so when Starscream goes to investigate, he accidentally touches the wire.
Yeah, and the monkey's stuck.
The monkey's stuck there.
That's why he's yelling. That's why the yelling is happening. From the ghost. Yeah. So then it has Kryak and Starscream have this big come to Jesus moment, come to Primus moment, where Starscream realizes that Kryak was a monster the whole time, but hey, maybe I should be a monster too. And
I don't know. It was a good character building thing for Starscream to see, who he is, I guess. But, as a Halloween special, it just failed. Because there's no spookiness at all to this.
I thought it failed both ways, you're saying. Because I thought, man, I don't care about this about Starscream. What is it? Are they ever going to get to this in the main book? This character moment from Starscream? No.
Probably not.
Because they haven't done it. Another book, a lot better actually. Shattered Glass. This is actually issue number 2. Danny Lore, Dan Kana is who I show doing the art here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I have.
I like what's happening here. I just don't like the way it's happening.
I am the same way. They're basically just describing the old IDW continuity in a weird way,
but reverse. The roles
it's a little changed, but.
But the roles are kind of reversed a little bit.
A little bit.
Like Megatron.
But you're right. The way this story is being told is terrible.
It's like way in the future, after the war, after everything that happened on Earth happened on Earth. Megatron is defeated. Starscream's like, nah, dude, we got to get the band back together. Because by the end, you realize that they can now control Titans again. So Starscream's like, the Decepticon, who in this universe are the good guys. Remember that. This is like Star Trek mirror universe. It time hops and it's all disjointed and
there's a lot of flashbacks. But that said, there are things that I'm glad are back. I'm glad Imperator is back.
Yeah, they talk about that's why I got this. Yeah, they talk about Imperator in this. Dude, this feels like like you said, IDW but Shattered Glass.
And I also like the twist they did with Shockwave. In the main universe, they take away all of his emotions and he's all cold and logical. And this, they try to do that, but they mess up, and he ends up getting all the emotions, all the empathy, and that is what drives him crazy.
It's actually really fun. I want more of that. I don't want a new story told in Shattered Glass. I want the original story told from the Shattered Glass point of view. You know what I mean? I want all those notes. I want shitty, terrible Optimus Prime. I want really awesome, Megatron. And
you kind of got a little bit of shitty Optimus Prime, but not enough. He wasn't.
Dude, I want a ruthless Ironhide. You know what I mean? All proud, heroic Ironhide. No, I want him to be sinister and terrible. You know what I mean? I want a Devastator who like plants flowers and shit. You know what I mean? I want the complete opposite from what I got, but I'm not gonna get it. Damn it! I'm not gonna get it. All right, Taylor, you're up. Let's do. Taylor goes first this week. You got to hear us. He's probably like, "Why do y'all even do that Transformer shit? You guys hate it."
I mean, it's few and far between the times when I hear you guys say, "Man, I love the Transformers book that came out this week."
I know. It's sort of like unrequited love because
It is.
we loved it so much for a time, and now it's like, man, remember when we used to love it? Let's hate on it. I know how Star Wars fans feel now.
Kind of.
Taylor, go ahead.
All right.
Honorable mentions and number 3.
I'll just do the one honorable mention this week. Amazing Fantasy number 3.
It is okay.
It's okay, but I mean, this is a book where Captain America leads an army of cat people to like meet in battle with like Peter Parker riding back of a dragon, and like also like Black Widow shows up with like an army of like, I don't know what they're supposed to be, like elf people or something.
Yeah,
but I mean,
elves or something.
It's just dumb fun. It's not I've read other versions of this that were a lot better. This is kind of living in the shadow of Jason Aaron's Weird World that he wrote a few years ago.
Sure.
But it's still an inherently fun premise, and I've enjoyed picking it up.
The premise is not enough to carry it for me. The art is
it is honorable mention.
Sure, and the art for me is actually not really as good as I was wanting in this book. I thought the first issue did a lot better. But yeah, good. Not a bad honorable mention. Sure.
All right, fuck you, Gomer. Anyway, for number 3,
David's not here, so he had to throw it at you.
Some book to shit on.
You don't. You actually don't. But anyway, number 3 is going to be Nonstop Spider-Man number 5.
I totally forgot about this book.
It's a good book.
Totally forgot about it.
Yeah, I mean, this has been like let's just have a high octane ride Spider-Man book, and there's less of that this week, like I would say, than in previous issues. It's certainly not the strongest issue that they've had, but there's still lots of good action. There's a lot of aerodynamics because a lot of this takes place like falling out of a crashing plane or whatever. But
fun.
It remains a consistently fun read.
Sure.
Like
I get it.
Yeah, the action is fluid. Like it's really dynamic. It's fun to like kind of take the journey from panel to panel. And like I was saying earlier, this is the first time I've enjoyed reading a Spider-Man book in a while, so that has a lot to do with it.
I actually, the reason I probably skipped this by accident, I meant to get it, was because of the other Spider-Man book and just I'm really stoked to get that new Spider-Man book next week. But yeah, terrific choice. I should go back and find it. Honorable mentions, I'll give a brief shout out for Robin. Strong issue, still not as good as last issue with all the Robins.
Oh, I like this issue.
Dude, that issue might have been my favorite of the year. One of my favorites of the year, single issues, issue 5 of Robin. But I'll also do a shout out. Echo Lands number 2, J.H. Williams, Hayden Blackman, Dave Stewart doing the art. Just brilliant sequential art design. I mean, look at that. Obviously,
I mean, all you have to do is say J.H. Williams III, and you're in for a feast for the eyes.
And it's this widescreen sort of layout. The book is all sideways.
That is a specialty of his. He likes to kind of take you through the geography of the whatever place we're in, like while we're telling the story.
Yeah, it's just marvelous, and I mean, a masterclass of sequential art, just gorgeous. But really not really good on story. The story's just okay. So my number 3, Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 3.
They were out of this by the time I got to the show.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
they were out of it too.
You gotta throw this in your box, y'all.
It's in the box now, but yeah.
It was in my box, but
it's one of those things where like I didn't think I would have trouble because I was able to get the first 2 issues, but I don't know. Like I guess word's getting out. Maybe it's our own fault for talking so much praise for the book,
Right. Tom Taylor, John Timms. I'm sorry, SJW Superman is my favorite Superman. Standing there locked in arms at a protest. And I fucking love it. I'm like, yes, this is what Superman should fucking be doing. This only made number 3 because Action Comics, I guess, tied into it this week because he was
Action
leaving.
Comics did not really tie. So Action Comics
they mentioned that he's leaving.
Action Comics is the story of John, or not John, but
Clark,
the
leaving.
main Superman.
Yeah.
And the issue that came out this week was him actually leaving because it was the end of the story arc of War World Rising or whatever. So now he knows that there is a enslaved group of Kryptonians that he needs to go save from Warworld.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this issue is the issue that he leaves with the team that he gathers in Superman and the Authority to go and fight Warworld. Yeah.
Is Superman and the Authority supposed to be in canon? I was not under that impression. Wow.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, man.
Wow, I'll be damned. Okay.
In canon as much as Future State and all that shit is in canon, right? You know, because we still don't know what's going to happen there. This Superman, there's no way this John is going to lock Metropolis up like fucking Kandor. There's no way.
Man, I hope that the Future State stuff isn't canon for that reason. Yeah, I mean, in this Tom Taylor book, this has been a very good Superman, but in the Future State Superman books, he is definitively the worst Superman that there ever was.
But I love this scene where he's in jail, and I mean, when your dad's Superman, your dad's coming to pick you up from jail. But they have this really cool interaction where Clark's like, your mom's been arrested a bunch of times, you know, because she's in the media. That makes sense. And he's like, I did hard time. And Clark's like, you did hard time for like 45 minutes. And he's like, it was 45 minutes a hard time. You know, just this fun dialogue going back and forth between just a dad and his son, but a dad and his son who like have the same job now. And it's this crazy, awesome Superman job. It's really a fun dynamic.
Tom Taylor really nails character dynamics.
Yeah,
and I'm really pissed I wasn't able to get this issue.
Yeah, you should read. You should find a copy online.
I'll try to.
Buy it at $3 or whatever. Adam, honorable mentions. Number 3.
Honorable mention, Wolverine number 16.
Oh man, so fun.
Yeah, didn't make my top 3 because I didn't want to make all of my top 3 X books this
and
week.
You could have. I could have.
And I could have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's Wolverine and Solemn. So
you say Solemn. I'm loving the Sebier or whatever the fuck his name is. This acid breath pirate motherfucker. He's
he is weird.
He's Brevier or whatever his name is, Blackheart or some shit. I don't even know. He's awesome. Better than Tarn, who I hate.
Oh, I love Tarn.
I hate Tarn. Not just because he stole a cool name.
Well, I mean, he doesn't care, so.
He doesn't care. That's right. He's the uncaring.
He is the uncaring.
Adam.
But my number 3 was Robin number 6.
Nice.
I'm really digging this book.
Me too.
And this is the issue where the tournament actually really starts. So the fighting really begins.
A lot of motion. A lot
of great art, a lot of fights. A lot of really great 9-panel layouts.
Yes.
You know, with the fight scenes.
I'm a sucker for
but yeah, I'm just really digging this book because it has that anime feel to it. It just flows really fast, and I'm also really digging the high school sort of vibe to it, you know, where
it's all a bunch of kids hanging out.
It's all a bunch of kids. At one point, they're all hanging out underneath the bleachers.
Yeah,
while the fighting's going on. So,
and we say all these fun things. The story that's going on, like who is this Mother Soul or whatever? That's pretty interesting shit too. Lazarus Island is pretty rad. I mean, everything about this book is kind of fun.
Yeah.
This didn't make my list because the last issue was so damn good, and this one wasn't as good, so it dropped way off. Because, man, honestly, Taylor, if you can find issue number 5 of Robin, you don't need to read anything else, and you will fucking love it. Damian goes to Gotham, and all the other Robins and him have a rooftop race where he says, "Yeah, I'll stay. I won't go back if y'all can catch me." And he does just the perfect thing to all of the Robins. And then, yeah, of course, one of them does catch up to him, but it's just the best moment. And
it is.
I loved it, dude. I loved it. But
I mean, I think you guys have sold this on me. I'm going to try to get the backlog here.
I was off of it after issue 1. I read issue 1. I was like, man, I know what this is going to be. It's going to be anime fighting tournament. Dumb.
And it is.
Hey, let's not knock anime fighting tournaments.
But Adam kept raving it, and I was like, okay. And then I know this dude online, Brian. He was like, no, dude, you have to read Robin. He's like, besides Nightwing, it is the best Batman book. And I'm like, okay, I'll read it because I love Damian so much.
Man, Batman's sidekick's really holding down the franchise here right now.
It's nobody's sidekick. Fuck. Go ahead. Just kidding. I don't mind.
Yeah, he is. He's
Robin is the quintessential sidekick. If your name is Robin, you are definitely a fucking sidekick.
Yeah, he's been 2 sidekicks to different Batmans. I don't know if anybody else who's done that. So, and he's been Batman himself in Tom Taylor's zombie book. That doesn't count, but in my heart.
He was also Batman back in Grant Morrison's run. He was like a future Batman.
Yeah, I don't think that run even counts anymore. I don't think that
actually it was just in a issue, the last issue of Batman Urban Legends.
Oh, I don't know if that counts either. I don't know how if any of these books count.
There's so many
Batman books, they can't all count. They can't all work. All right, Taylor. We're around to number 2. I think we all have the same number 2 and number 1. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the order might differ for us. So let's see how this pans out.
Go ahead.
My number 2 is Sword number 8.
No, my number 2 is Sword.
That's my number 1.
Oh wow, you put Inferno behind Sword?
Inferno has really cool moments in the beginning and has a really cool moment at the end. In the middle is boring as fuck.
That's a fair assessment. I mean, I was pretty torn on which way I was going to go with this one. But anyway, I did go with Sword number 8 for my number 2.
That's my number 2 as well.
This is basically just Storm being a fucking badass.
Well, yeah, this is introducing us to her new status quo as the Regent of Soul.
Yeah, and it's really fun watching her navigate all these, like, far more, I don't want to use the word vicious, but, like, far more, like...
Oh, they are.
Confrontational Iraqi mutants. Like, she walks into the meeting and like the one dude's like apparently has powers to like speak things into existence and a fucking knife comes flying at her. She's and like I love her. It's like,
and that's how he starts every meeting.
Yeah, I love the whole thing where it's like, hey, you did pretty good with that one. You want the knife back? Like I love her just being like cool as a fucking cucumber with every one of these damn interactions. And her putting Tarn, the guy that you hate so much, basically put him into his place there at the end. That was really cool.
She earned I think she earned his respect.
I would definitely say so.
I have in my notes. Okay, just imagine the job of Regent of Soul and the head of all politics for Iraqi for the Iraqi people. An Earth mutant being put basically as the leader of this alien nation. That's basically what is happening. They're mutants, sure, but they're not Earth mutants. These are vicious. Like you said, there's a lot of shit. Tarn the Uncaring is like in their Congress. Okay, he was voted to office somehow. How's that happen?
Well, when you have an entire nation of body horror slaves that you've tortured into existence.
Yeah, but this is the masterfulness of Al Ewing as a writer. He makes the reader know just how hard this job is. But makes Storm look like she makes it look easy.
Yeah.
She makes it look easy.
Consider that, like, right now, Storm is on the Quiet Council of Krakoa. She's on the Great Ring of Araco. Yeah. She's, like, the Queen of Wakanda. And on top of all that, she is the official spokesperson for the entire goddamn solar system. And, yeah, this issue does a great job cementing how she is, like, the only person who could pull this off.
And I think in a way,
she's been preparing her life for this, and I think she is the only person, the only mutant who could do this.
I feel like in a way, this issue of Sword sort of progresses the overall narrative of X-Men more in a certain way than the issue of Inferno that happened this week.
I don't know,
because this is really pushing the whole space narrative. This is really establishing the Iraqi Council. We now know who all of these people are.
Honestly,
that was fun too. Seeing all these new mutants, definitely fun.
The biggest criticism I can probably name of this book is that it doesn't really feel like it should have been an issue of Sword. I'm glad that it was, since Al Ewing was the guy writing it. But this seems like it should
be an issue of Sword. Sword has been a weird book.
Sword is all over the place. It's tied into. It has. I think this is only the 3rd issue of it that wasn't tied into some sort of event.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's right.
It doesn't really have its own identity like all the other X books do.
It's the space book.
It is the space book.
It is the space book, and this is going off on Mars. But yeah, Like Storm is not part of the Sword team. But anyway, that's all kind of aside. This is still like
She's
a
not
fantastic
part of the Sword
issue.
team, no, but she is the go-between between the second Sword station and the planet that it goes around.
I could see the justification for this being a Sword book, but I feel like it could have easily been an issue of X-Men instead, you know?
I hope that this is sort of begins a trend of making Mars, planet Araki, part of Sword. I want to see more of this place. I wouldn't mind an entire book dedicated to the shit that's going on this.
Oh yeah, and I did absolutely love everything about this. I am glad that Al Ewing is the one who wrote this because he really does, I think, nail writing Storm as a character. I really enjoyed, her navigating these power dynamics that she has to be part of now, because like she's very, very powerful, but she's hardly the strongest member of that 10 rings, but she still manages to like establish who's in charge, you know?
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, you guys alluded to it, talking back and forth about all this shit she's, doing right now. She might be the most powerful being, like mortal being in the fucking galaxy.
In terms of like clout, absolutely. I would say
there's a Wakanda like intergalactic.
That's
shit
what
now,
regent of the unit of the soul means. That means you are the leader.
Yeah, she's definitely the most important being in the solar system, but because of connections to Wakanda's intergalactic thing or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, she's a queen/counselor on like the two most powerful nations on Earth, and is now like the head of, this entire society of like hyper aggressive war mutants.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. And the art was pretty good in this too, man. It fell off in a few places. I didn't like some of Guy, I think his name is Guy Villanova's faces in some places were off.
Well, yeah,
but there was some body horror in here that was wonderfully done.
Yeah, that's true enough. I mean, the art in this issue does suffer from being compared to like previous issues of Sword, which were drawn much, much better.
Whoa.
But it's still pretty good for what it is.
Yeah, definitely. All right, yeah. So I guess there's only one book to talk about left. If I could just say why this book is my number one, just by showing off a few images. Okay, here is the cover to Inferno. This is a page from Inferno where Destiny and Mystique are visiting Moira during Moira's third life, where she creates the vaccine, the mutant, vaccine. And this is a direct take from House of X number 2. This page is from House of X number 2. This is Inferno number 1. This is House of X number 2. These are two different artists, no? Valerio Schiti did this. Didn't Pepe Larraz do House of X? Inferno number 1. House of X number 2. Inferno number 1. House of X number 2. And then there's this. This is from Inferno. This is the missing page, the missing part of the discussion that they were having in House of X number 2. Now, this is the end. This is Inferno number 1, where, she 6 pyro on him in an amazing display. And then House of X number 2. But it's that page, this page, where it feeds all the way back from House of X. And it shows just how amazing Jonathan Hickman is.
Well, yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, it does... This is Hickman's greatest strength as a writer, is knowing how to set up for the long con, so to speak. Like he had this planned out. It's a big payoff for something that was established, I guess, was it 2 or 3 years ago now?
It's been 3 years ago now.
It's been 3 years, yeah.
But there was like the one COVID year, so I guess.
Pandemic,
whatever.
That year. But yeah, this book had espionage, intrigue, deceit, military strikes, character drama. I mean, this book had it all. This issue had it all, man.
It did. It just, I don't know. Sometimes when you're reading Hickman, sometimes it feels like homework. And I felt a little bit of that.
That's fair.
That's my favorite part of it.
It's also true that this issue is much more setup than anything else. Like, we don't know how the hell Destiny got here. And
that's what pissed me off about it the most, was that this still had, I've been I don't know. I'm just not happy with Hickman right now. So I'm probably
okay. You're bitter. You're bitter for other reasons.
that's part of it. That's part of it. I
fair.
won't lie.
That's fair.
I won't lie. But
if you look back at House of X, number
I don't
one,
know. I'm just saying we've been building up for 3 years at this point, and then we get to this whole issue where shit's actually supposed to start happening, and it's still set up, and I'm just ready for shit to happen.
That is fair, but
has it not been an entertaining setup? Come on, dude. You weren't.
I guess
no, it was boring. It got boring in the middle.
In this, when they're fucking doing all that X-Force shit, and X-Force is going back and forth over and over, and these scientists
because they've been doing that
for
3 years.
Oh, but they.
I guess
that
I
was
just
what
have
they did in the
faith that
first
like
issue.
I have faith that issues like 2, 3, and 4 of Inferno are going to pay off this setup. So I
thought this to me felt like a payoff for his X-Men. Which, yes, X-Men also felt like it was setting up, but X-Men also felt like it was showing us the payoff of Hickman changing the status quo that was changed. And yes, a lot of shit was set up in House of X and Powers of 10. But also, I think the genius of House of X and Powers of 10 was it also showed you how all this shit was going to end then. It showed you. And now we're getting
I'm not saying this isn't
unravel
good.
in real time.
I'm not saying it's not a masterpiece.
You had it at number 2.
Long game. I'm just saying I'm tired of
because he quit.
what is this gonna matter anyway? This is the middle part of his story.
I know.
This isn't even gonna be the end anyway.
I will say that like the banter between Moira and Charles and Magneto, I actually didn't care for it.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, It was basically just like, you never listen to me. And like, we don't know what the, like, are they not listening or trying to kill Nimrod? Because they are trying to kill Nimrod, you know? Like, it's basically her nagging about, like, what are they supposed to be doing that they're not doing? And if it's not killing Nimrod, then I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, you know?
Well, she can still be pissed that they're failing.
I also have a hard time believing that
honestly,
this nation of godlike beings can't destroy one fucking space station.
Well,
I have a genuinely hard time believing it. I guess, they gave like plausible reasons or whatever, but like
they just terraformed an entire planet. I mean, they can't go to one space station.
There's half a dozen mutants who can just change fucking reality. I mean, have them like turn the space station into like confetti.
Yeah, why is it Manifold leading the charge?
I don't know, man. I mean, you guys are making points that
the real reason is because they want to be able to tell this story, but
they are nitpicks.
Yeah,
they feel like nitpicks almost. But I'm not like saying you're wrong because you're right. Magneto like trying to push the station in, and he has an aneurysm.
Worthy attempt, but there are stronger mutants than Magneto who could probably do more. I mean, I know that they're not cool with Franklin Richards anymore, but it's fucking impossible that like Franklin Richards going to do something about this.
I don't know, man.
I will say that, okay, nitpicks aside, this was a fantastic issue.
Yeah.
It just, the pacing wasn't what I wanted, and I wanted it to get moving. I wanted this to actually be an Inferno and go up in flames really quick. And right now, it's a simmer. It's still a simmer.
Your jaw didn't drop at the end when Destiny shows up. Come on.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It was a big moment, but it's still simmering. I want it to be an Inferno.
I am looking forward to seeing like how she got there, like what power play has Mystique managed to pull.
I think the first page of this sort of told us that it was Emma Frost. Emma bringing back Charles and Magneto instead of anyone else leads me to believe that there is something sinister going on, and she's part of it. She's going to be part of it. Emma's everywhere. Who could bring her back? Who out there could bring her back? Legion.
I mean,
we've seen Legion do it. We've seen Hope kind of do it, but need a little bit of help. We've seen Jean do it. Jean brought Charles back in X-Force. And Hickman is not going to go back to the well, right? So if we saw Emma do it in the first pages of this, I think maybe that is him saying that it is for sure Emma, or he's saying, no, you've named 4, now 5 people because Charles can bring them back too. It's going to be somebody completely different. Who does Mystique know?
And I do love that mystery. The main reason why this one is my number one, this issue itself was pretty solid. I definitely agree with a lot of Adam's criticisms.
Yeah.
But I am very excited with what this is setting up. So that excitement is the thing that makes this my number one this week.
Yeah. It's also kind of a bait and switch. I kind of sort of had, when I dropped my jaw with Destiny, I was like, oh, so they're not going to burn it down. Because if you'll remember, Destiny says there will be an island, not the first, the last. It will be a paradise. If they don't, and if
we've had like 4 opportunities to read it now. So yes, I remember.
Yeah. If they don't bring me back, burn that place to the ground or whatever. So, but she's back now.
But they didn't do it. So I'm pretty sure they're still going to be pissed about that.
I still think Moira's in on it. Moira's still pulling all these strings. As much
Moira seems like the one thing she absolutely did not want was to have Destiny back. So I doubt that she was involved in that.
But she also bitching at him for failing to not stop Nimrod. The one thing she told him you have to do. Okay, there's one
I didn't
thing
really
you
like
cannot
Moira in
do,
this
and
issue.
there's
I'm
one
going to
thing
be honest.
you have to do. That was it. That was it.
I mean, they've been trying to kill Nimrod, but I feel like that ship has sailed at this point, right? I mean, Nimrod's around.
It's their fault. It's their fault he's even there.
It's kind of Mystique's because, like, I go back to that issue of X-Men. Why did she have to go, like, into the heart of the station? Just throw the fucking black hole grenade through the gate when they have no chance to do anything about it.
Yeah.
But again, like, I have a really hard time believing that they can't do more effective things than what they've been doing to stop.
Yeah, it seems like they've just been sending like one jet of the X-Force.
Well, what about
just one after the other after them?
I should have grabbed the infographic. There's like this one infographic where it's, like the solar system and everything's numbered.
It does. And it tells you.
I saw all that, but it's like,
that's Hickman. That's Hickman saying, I could write 5 pages of dialogue telling y'all how terrible it is for mutants to do this shit. Or I could just have Tom Muller do me a design graphic and everything's gold now. I don't know. I love this. I was so happy with this issue. I thought it was fantastic. I read it like 3 times. I bought 2 issues. I bought, they had both the covers I wanted when I got to the shop. They had the Momoko variant and the Art Germ variant, and I got them both, dude. I wanted the Brooks Rap variant too, but I was like, I ain't buying 3 copies of this shit. But yeah, man, great book. There's like 3 or 4 X books next week too, so along with Spider-Man, we are going to talk about them then. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Come back later on the night for the Bullies, or be here in a few hours. Come back tomorrow night for our preview show where we'll talk about all of those books coming out next week.
I am somewhat worried about us losing our nerd cred here since we didn't once mention Venom. I mean, I didn't see it, so I have nothing to say about it.
I heard I can't really mention anything except the after credit scene, which I heard is jaw dropping and
I've heard what that is, and honestly,
important.
I'm not impressed by what it sounds like they're doing.
No, it sounds like everything's all simmering together, which is where everything was.
It sounds to me, okay, spoiler. It sounds to me like they are shoehorning Venom into the MCU.
Of course they are.
Venom.
They shoehorned Peter Parker, Spider-Man into the MCU.
He fits much more organically, I would say. I mean, just like a flash of light and then he's there? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. But
I don't.
Well,
TVA, multiverse.
I'm throwing this in here at the last second here, but like, I didn't go see it this weekend because the first movie was absolute garbage.
It was.
I still haven't seen it.
It's bad.
I want to watch it just so
I will say it is entertaining in a perverse way. It's not good, but it's a good bad movie.
I will say, okay, if you can
get
see
some
it
entertainment
if you can see it for free, you might be able to enjoy it's whatever, like hour and a half front time or whatever it is. But yeah.
I heard Tom.
No idea about this new one though. So.
I heard Tom Hardy is like all in with this character. Like he can't wait. He wants to do a 3rd one. He wants to be in the Spider-Man movies. He wants to do MCU shit.
Everyone wants to be in the MCU, man. I mean, that's where all the money is.
Tom Hardy's never been like that money chasing guy though. Like he just is really loved.
He's a retirement plan.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's like, I'm getting old. I can't do movies where I play twins terribly anymore. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We're gonna do it again next time. Man, I did this all out of order. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. But most of all, thanks to these 2 jokers for hanging out with this joker.
Anytime, man.
We're gonna do it all again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Yeah, see, I kind of fucked it all up. So.
I shouldn't have done that Venom thing in the last.
Yeah, and I was gonna blame you for it, but I was like, oh, if I blame him, he's gonna be like, oh, fuck you, Gomer.
I mean, fuck you, Gomer. But,
Fuck you, Gomer.